She was one of the most influential and divisive leaders of the 20th century, a woman who reshaped Britain's economy, confronted powerful unions, and stood firm against enemies abroad. Loved by many, fiercely hated by others, her impact is undeniable. This is the story of Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. Margaret Hilda Roberts was born on October 13, 1925, in the quiet market town of Grantham, England. Her family lived above the grocery shop her father ran, and life was modest, disciplined, and deeply shaped by hard work and responsibility. Her father, Alfred Roberts, was a shopkeeper, Methodist lay preacher, and local politician. He taught young Margaret lessons about frugality, independence, and moral conviction. These values would stay with her for the rest of her life. As a child, Margaret was studious, serious, and ambitious. While other children played, she read, debated, and followed world affairs. Few could have predicted that this quiet girl from a small English town would one day become one of the most powerful figures in global politics. In 1943, Thatcher earned a scholarship to Oxford University, studying chemistry at Somerville College. She excelled academically, but it was her involvement in political clubs that shaped her future. At Oxford, she became president of the Conservative Association, a sign of her emerging leadership. After graduating, she worked briefly as a research chemist before shifting toward law and politics. Her early speeches and writing revealed a young woman with strong convictions. She believed in limited government, personal responsibility, and economic freedom. She distrusted socialism and saw state control as a threat to individual liberty. These ideas would later form the backbone of Thatcherism. In the early 1950s, Margaret married Dennis Thatcher, a successful businessman whose financial stability allowed her to pursue law and public service. She ran for Parliament twice before finally winning a seat in 1959, representing Finchley. Her rise within the Conservative Party was steady. She was hard-working, well-prepared, and unafraid to challenge assumptions. Her first major ministerial role came in 1970, when Prime Minister Edward Heath appointed her as Secretary of State for Education. During this time, she gained national attention and controversy for cutting free school milk programs, earning her the nickname Margaret Thatcher, Milk Snatcher. Unpopular as the decision was, it reinforced an image that would follow her forever. She was willing to make tough, painful choices. The early 1970s were turbulent years for Britain. Inflation was rising, the government was struggling, the miners' strikes had paralyzed the country. Within the Conservative Party, frustration with Heath's leadership grew, and Thatcher decided to challenge him. Her colleagues underestimated her. Many believed Britain was not ready for a woman prime minister, but Thatcher campaigned relentlessly, arguing that the party needed conviction, clarity, and discipline. In 1975, she defeated Edward Heath and became the first woman to lead a major political party in the United Kingdom. 4 years later, amid widespread economic turmoil, she won the general election. In 1979, Margaret Thatcher became the first female Prime Minister of the UK. Thatcher inherited a nation in crisis. High inflation, weak productivity, and frequent strikes. Britain was often referred to as the sick man of Europe. Thatcher set out to transform the British economy with bold, radical reforms. She embraced free market principles inspired by economists like Milton Friedman. Under her leadership, the government privatized major industries such as steel, coal, and telecommunications, reduced the power of trade unions, confronting them in several large-scale battles, deregulated the financial sector, leading to the famous Big Bang in London's markets, cut direct taxes, and encouraged private enterprise and reduced public spending to fight inflation. These reforms were painful. Unemployment initially soared. Entire communities, especially industrial towns, suffered deeply. But over time, inflation declined, productivity improved, and business confidence surged. Supporters say she saved Britain from economic collapse. Critics argue she deepened inequality and permanently damaged working-class communities. One thing is certain: Thatcher changed Britain forever. In 1982, Britain received shocking news. Argentine forces had invaded the Falkland Islands, a remote British territory in the South Atlantic. Thatcher's response was immediate and uncompromising. She ordered a naval task force to sail 8,000 miles to reclaim the islands. The war was risky and controversial. Many doubted Britain could succeed. But after 10 weeks of intense fighting, Argentina surrendered. The victory revived national pride and strengthened Thatcher's popularity. She became seen not just as domestic reformer, but as decisive war leader. Around this time, a Soviet newspaper gave her a nickname that would stick for the rest of her life: the Iron Lady. Thatcher embraced it. The name captured her determination, her unwavering convictions, and her bold leadership style. On the world stage, she formed a close working relationship with US President Ronald Reagan. The two shared similar beliefs about free markets, limited government, and standing firm against Soviet communism. Thatcher also supported NATO, backed nuclear deterrence, and later played a role in diplomatic efforts that contributed to the end of the Cold War. Despite her popularity after the Falklands, Thatcher faced growing unrest at home. Her third term, beginning in 1987, was the most turbulent. The introduction of the community charge, widely known as the poll tax, triggered massive protests across the country. Critics argued it unfairly burdened the poor, and demonstrations erupted into riots. At the same time, divisions within the Conservative Party intensified, especially over Europe. Thatcher opposed deeper integration with the European community, clashing with her own ministers. By 1990, her once iron grip on the party had weakened. In November 1990, Thatcher faced a leadership challenge from within her own party. She won the first round but fell short of a decisive victory. Realizing that even loyal allies believed she could no longer unite the party, she made a painful decision. After more than 11 years in office, the longest continuous term of any British Prime Minister in the 20th century, Margaret Thatcher resigned. As she left Downing Street, she delivered a tearful farewell speech, marking the end of an era. But her influence on politics was far from over. Thatcher remained a force in global affairs long after leaving office. She wrote memoirs, delivered speeches, and became a powerful voice on international issues. Her political philosophy, Thatcherism, reshaped not only the Conservative Party, but the entire political landscape of Britain. Even her opponents had to adapt to a world she had transformed. She suffered a series of strokes in her later years, gradually withdrawing from public life. Margaret Thatcher passed away on April 8, 2013, at the age of 87. Her death sparked tributes, celebrations, and debates, a rare reflection of how polarizing and consequential her life had been. Margaret Thatcher's legacy is vast, complex, and fiercely debated. Supporters praise her for reviving the British economy, restoring national confidence, standing firm against Soviet communism, and championing individual responsibility and free markets. Critics accuse her of deepening social inequality, weakening labor rights, damaging industrial communities, and ignoring the struggles of the working class. But whether admired or despised, Thatcher reshaped Britain more dramatically than any leader of her time. She was, without question, a political titan. Margaret Thatcher rose from a small-town grocery store to the highest office in the United Kingdom. She faced ridicule, resistance, and prejudice, yet she pushed forward with unshakable determination. Her policies changed the British economy, her leadership influenced world affairs, and her legacy continues to spark debate decades later. She was the Iron Lady, unyielding, controversial, and unforgettable. If you enjoyed this biography, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss any video. Let us know which historical figure we should cover next. Thank you for watching.